Yeah, now we will move towards the labor variances. Guys, when we have understood the material variances, labor is very easy. Now here, under labor, whatever was the quantity under the material, now here it is replaced by hours. There, whatever price was there, here it is replaced by rate. Rate per what? Hour. There it was price per unit or price per kg. And here it is rate per hour. Sure. We'll try to figure it out. What and all is there here? Yeah. Classification of labor variances as under. Pay attention. Labor cost variance we'll trying to find out first. Sir, what is labor cost variance? Guys, let us go back to our example. How much we had got? We had got a labor cost variance of 50,000, sir. 50,000. Then we will try to figure out this why extra 50,000 we have incurred. Did we work for more hours or did we pay more? Did we pay more than what was expected? So we will try to figure out. So what can be the two reasons, guys? Either higher rate or more hours. More hours. So for that we will calculate the respective variances. Labor efficiency variance. Labor efficiency variance. Guys, efficiency is based on what? Hours. Clear? So here what do we use? Hours. Which hour should come first? We need to find out the difference between hours. Which hour should come first? Standard minus actual into standard rate. Whenever the multiplier is the price or rate, it is always rate. Sorry, standard. It is always standard. And whenever the quantity or hours is the multiplier, it would be actual. It would be actual. For material, it will be quantity, whereas for labor, it would be hours. Okay. Then come to labor rate variance. That means we are finding out the difference between what? Rate. What rate minus what rate? Which one will come first? Standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours. Okay. Then like labor, idle time variance. If at all if there is any idle time, then one extra variance we will calculate, which is called labor idle time variance. What is the formula? Simple. Idle time into standard rate. Idle time into standard rate. And it will always be adverse. It will always be adverse. Really positive, negative will not matter. You will always get positive only. But obviously, for idle time, no productivity, but you are making only the payment. What do you get? Negative. Adverse variance. Adverse variance. Why guys? Simple. For idle time, payment is made, but no productivity. So it is always negative for a company. So it is an adverse variance. Okay, sir. Then efficiency can be subdivided into mix and interest as it is material. As it is material. Instead of quantity, what should we use here? Hello. What should we use? Hours. Instead of price there, what should we use here? Rate. Step. Okay. Right. One important difference or one important point here, which I will highlight. Please focus. Guys, when we are calculating the efficiency, we have to calculate. See, there will be two different things here. When there is idle time, our spent and our work will not be same. Hours spent minus idle time is equal to what? Hours worked. Hours work. And we will get the efficiency or productivity for what? Hours worked or spent? Work. Hours work. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Sir, if I am calculating labor rate variance, actual hours spent should I consider or work should I consider? I will make the payment for what, Rohit? Worked or spent? Payment will be made for hours spent or worked. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain. Basics ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ basics strong. Let us make it strong. Hey, listen. Assume working day every day for an employer worker is 9 hours. So what is this 9 hours? They're spending in the office. Will they work for 9 hours? No. Assume productivity time is 7 hours. Remaining 2 hours is that break, this break, and in between anything, clear, including lunch break, everything. So as per this guys, hours spent is 9. Hours worked is 7. So payment will be made for 9 hours or 7 hours. 9 hours. But productivity is got for 7 hours. Got it? Yes. Now payment is made for hours spent. Whereas the work done or the productivity or the efficiency is for hours worked. Come on. Now let us go and check the variances. Guys, for labor rate variance, what is the formula? We need to find out the difference between rate. What rate minus what rate? Standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours spent. We are making the payment for which hours? Actual or spent? Okay. Let me write it. Where will I write? Oh, yeah. Spent. Spent. Now, labor efficiency variance. Listen, listen. Labor efficiency, guys. Efficiency is decided based on hours worked or spent. Work. So that means for this formula, what should I take? Work. Work. Now listen. Now listen. Please listen. Pay attention. Ah, work. Yes, sir. Now what is the formula? Efficiency is based on hours. So we are finding out the difference in hours. What hours minus what hours? Standard hour minus actual hour. Work into standard rate. Okay. Sir, in between this hours and hours worked and spent, there is some difference now. What is it called? Idle time. So what is the formula for labor idle time variance? Idle time into standard rate. And automatically it will match it. Automatically it will match that. Correct. Now, idle time plus work is equal to what? Spent. Is equal to spent. Come on, guys. Here, for labor cost variance, what do I take? Standard labor cost minus actual labor cost. Standard labor cost, how do I get? Standard hours for actual output. Here also standard hours should always be for actual output. Into standard rate minus actual hours dash. Actual hours. We are making payment for what? Spend. Actual hours spent into actual rate. Actual hours spent into actual rate. Hope you understood. Now listen. We got already four formulas. Already four formulas are done. What are those? Let me repeat. Let me repeat. Ideal time. Let us start with ideal time. What is the formula? Ideal time into standard rate. Always adverse. Always adverse. It can never be positive. See, answer wise it will be positive, but for a company it is never a positive. It is always a negative because we are making the payment but getting nothing. But getting nothing. Yes, sir. Then coming to labor rate variance. What is the formula? Standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours spent. Simple. We are making the payment for what? Hours spent. Clear? Yes. Then labor efficiency variance. Efficiency is always based on the productivity of the workers. Productivity of the workers we will get for hours spent, hours worked, hours worked. So what is the formula? Standard hours for actual output minus actual hours worked into standard. Okay, sir. Then coming back to cost variance. This is the first one, but still we are doing at the end. Labor cost variance. What is the formula, guys? First, standard labor cost minus actual labor cost. Okay, sir. Now, how do I get standard labor cost? Standard hours for actual output into standard rate. How do I get actual labor cost? Actual hours spent into actual rate. So that means you got to know where and all we have to consider spend and where and all we have to consider work. Okay. Now coming to mix and yield. Guys, mix and yield is a subcategory of labor efficiency. In labor efficiency, what do I use? Work. So obviously in mix and yield, what should I use? Work. I have to use work. Now, what is the formula for labor mix variance? Let us recall material mix variance. Revised standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. Now coming to this. Revised standard R minus actual R work into standard rate. What is revised standard hours? Total of actual hours work in standard hours ratio. In standard hours ratio. Very similar. The quantity, the hours, that's all. But please be careful. Guys, for mix, we have to consider what work the spent are. Work, work, work. Please be careful. Because it is a subcategory of efficiency. In efficiency, what do we consider? Work. That means both in mix as well as yield, we have to take work. Then coming to labor yield variance. What is the formula? Standard hours, my standard hours for actual output minus revised standard hours into standard rate. Standard rate. And guys, here rate always will be per hour. Whether it is actual rate or standard rate, it will be per hour. Okay. Sure. Now let us get into. We are just seeing the diagram here. Ashte. Okay, if you want, you can write here also work. In both the formula, you will take work, or it's better write in this place. Put a flower bracket and write. We have to consider hours work. Please write that. Where we consider spent, where we consider work. Anyway, in the formula we will see it, but still you should know. The concept has to be strong, guys. Nothing to mug up. No formula has to be mug up here. If you know what you are calculating, formula is ready. You are finding out the labor rate variance. You are finding out the difference between rate. What rate minus what rate? Standard minus actual. Efficiency variance. You are calculating the difference between what? Hours. What rate? What hours minus what hours? Standard minus actual. Clear? That's all. If you know what you are calculating, formula is already ready. And I have also told you, whenever rate is the multiplier. Okay, keep like this. When I am finding out the difference between the price or rate, what should be the multiplier? Price only? No. It should be either quantity or hours. For material it is quantity and for labor it is hour. And when multiplier is the quantity or hours, it should be actual or standard? Actual. Clear? Yes. Then when you are finding out the difference between hours or quantity, what should be the multiplier? Price. You cannot multiply with the same thing. Again, don't multiply with the quantity or hours. Okay, multiplier should be what? Price. What price? Standard price. Or what rate? Standard rate. Clear? Yes. Sure. Labor cost variance. Labor cost variance, also termed as direct wage variance, is the difference between the standard direct wages specified for the activity achieved and the actual direct wages paid. And guys, please be careful. We are done with, as of now, we are covering labor. We are done with material. So material and labor, whatever we are discussing, is it direct or indirect or both put together? Direct. Or what about indirect? It will fall under overhead. Overhead, we are not at text. Clear? Indirect material, indirect labor, both will come under what? Overheads. Under overheads, we will see two categories: variable, fixed. Clear? Yes, please be careful. Whatever variances we are calculating for material and labor, it is always for direct material cost and direct labor cost. You saw now, because similar, guys. 10 kg per 1 unit of output, 15 kg per 1 unit of output, 10 hours per 1 unit of output, 20 hours per 1 unit of output. I am able to tell for each unit what is the raw material required. What is the hours of labor required? Is it direct in nature or indirect in nature? Direct in nature. Direct in nature. Whereas indirect, I cannot tell like this. Correct? Yes. The formula for labor cost variance is labor cost variance is equal to, first let us check this. Second, the standard labor cost minus actual labor cost. Sir, how do I derive standard labor cost? Standard R for actual output. There we used to convert standard quantity for actual output. Now, same way here we have to do. Standard R for is what? Actual output. Because guys, actual output or actual R's will already be for what? Actual output. Standard, if it is not given for actual output, what should I do? First convert it for actual output, then compare. Because now we are on the same ground. Same ground. Okay. How do I get standard labor cost? Standard hours for actual output into standard rate minus actual labor cost. How do you get it? Actual hours into actual rate. Actual hours, what actual hours? Spent. Right there. Right there. Actual hours spent into actual rate. Inchana, right? Okay. Reasons for variance. Difference in labor cost arises either due to difference in actual labor rate from the standard rate or difference in the number of hours worked from standard hours. So even in my example, I told you, sir, why have we got this 50,000? Maybe we have spent more time or we have paid more. We have paid more or maybe both also. Or maybe both also. In my example, actually hours you have taken less, but payment you have done more. Okay, so that means labor rate variance will be adverse, whereas labor efficiency variance will be positive, will be favorable. Is that clear? Yes. But if you net adjust, you will get adverse 50,000. Adverse 50,000. Just so. Labor cost variance can be divided into three parts, namely labor rate variance is equal to, labor rate variance, labor efficiency variance, labor idle time variance. Guys, now you tell me. See, only if there is idle time variance will come. Clear? If there is no idle time, efficiency and labor rate only will come now. Yes, sir. Correct now. In that case, spent is equal to work. Spent is equal to work done. Yes. Yes. And guys, one more thing. Whenever idle time is given, understand it as an abnormal idle time. Abnormal idle time. Why, sir? Because normal idle time, we will not give any separate treatment for it. Yeah, and we cannot avoid it. No matter what, I cannot avoid it. Yes. Okay. But here, will it make any rules or normal separate treatment, abnormal separate treatment? Will they do like that? No. But you have already learned. For normal idle time, we don't have any separate treatment. Clear? Whereas here, we are valuing it separately. That means what it will be? Abnormal. It would be abnormal. Okay. Now, if by chance, okay, first equation by size. Labor cost variance is equal to what? Labor rate variance plus efficiency variance plus idle time variance. If there is no idle time, then labor cost variance is equal to labor rate variance plus labor efficiency variance. That's all. Everywhere you will take same actual hours. No idle time, na? Spent is equal to work. Okay. So cost variance is subdivided into rate, efficiency, and idle time. Let us see the formula for it. This is due to the difference between the actual rate and standard rate of work. It is calculated like the material price variance, similar to that. Clear? Guys, come on. What is the formula for material price variance? Price variance. That means we are finding out the difference in price. Standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. Actual quantity consumed duty for calculation purpose. Yes, so here it is rate variance. Okay, instead of price you use rate here. Actually, price and rate is one and the same only. But for formula sake, at least show difference. Clear? What is the price? You will use price for what? Material. And rate for what? Labors. Okay. And please be careful, guys. Whatever standard price or actual price we use, it is either per kg or per unit. Here also, standard rate or actual rate will be per hour. Labor rate variance formula standard rate minus actual rate into actual or spent, because we are making the payment for the hours spent. Did we pay more or did we pay less? We have to calculate. Did we pay more than expected or did we pay less than expected? Okay, sir. Guys, who is supposed to decide this? Hello? Who is supposed to decide this? HR department. Personal department. Correct. Now they are the one who will hire the employees. They are the one who will negotiate with the employees, new employees especially. Correct. On. Even increment, hike and all, normally they play the major role. Yes. So if by chance if this is adverse, whom should we question to? HR department. HR department. And guys, see, always good employees comes with a price. Okay, but still, sir, if something can be avoided, if something could be negotiated well, you didn't do it well. You don't do it well. So that is who's responsible now? HR. Generally, labor rates are influenced by external factors which are beyond the control of the organization. Clear? As our market standard itself for a chartered accountant, so many lakhs, sir. Now, what will HR department do? Correct. Now, maybe you can negotiate 50,000 here and there, maybe 1 lakh here and there, plus minus. But standard is like that in the industry. However, personal manager, you are not PA. HR is responsible for labor rate negotiation. Yes. Idle time variance. It is calculated for idle hours. It is the difference between what? Paid hours, which is nothing but spent, and worked hours. So, idle time will always be adverse, guys. I have given a note. What is the formula? Idle hours into standard rate. Into standard rate. Then labor efficiency variance. Labor efficiency variance arises due to the difference between the standard labor hours specified and actual labor hours worked. The computation of labor efficiency variance is as follows. Labor efficiency variance is equal to efficiency is computed in terms of what? Hours. So standard hours for actual output minus actual hours worked into standard rate. And here, sir, for calculation, should we separately take like spent to a work done or? Yes, you have to take as it is. Whatever word we are using in the formula, same terms you have to take into standard rate. Now, how do I get actual hours worked, sir? Actual hours spent minus idle time. Minus idle time. Yeah. Yes. Who is responsible for it? Right. Who is responsible that workers has to work properly without wasting any time and all? Huh? Production department. Okay, or else there will be a person called supervisor. He will in charge, correct? Okay, he will come. Hey, don't waste the time. Like me. Oh, wait, hey, turn here. Oh, look here. Focus here. Okay, don't talk there. Correct, Asma? Huh? I am playing teacher role as well as supervisor role. Correct, Rahul? Huh? ಇನ್ನ ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಏನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Responsibility for labor efficiency variance. Efficiency variance may arise due to inability of the workers, inappropriate team of workers, inefficiency of production manager or foreman. ಅವನೇ ರಜೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅವನೇ daily manager will come or supervisor will come and sleep. What will worker do? Hey, chalo. Either he will also sleep or do something which is not productive. Which is not productive. Our foreman can be held responsible for the adverse variance which otherwise can be controlled. Labor efficient Anganta manager cannot tell, hey, don't take any break, don't go for washroom, don't go for lunch break. Correct? That cannot be done. See, whatever we are talking also is more about abnormal idle time. Okay, if they also are like strict or maybe taking precautionary measures, they can avoid it to some extent. Labor efficiency variance is subdivided into the following variances. Labor mix variance, or we also call gang variance. Gang andre needala. Gang of employees or workers. Sir, nandu ಒಂದು gang ಇದೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ಲ ನಾಳೆ. Sure. Listen here. Huh? What Nitin? ನಿಂಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಚಿಂತೆ? Listen guys. There are assume silence. There are assume three category of workers. Skilled, semi-skilled, semi-pagalala, hey, semi-skilled and unskilled. Now assume guys, for producing 1000 units of output, we were supposed to use 1000 hours of skilled workers and 1200 hours of semi-skilled workers and 1500 hours of unskilled workers. And the payment, this is standard hours. Standard rate was 1000 rupees per hour, and here 800 rupees per hour, and here 600 rupees per hour. 600 rupees per hour. This was the standard. But actually what has happened? Actual hours. Assume we have made skilled workers work more. 1200 hours. And here 1300 hours. And unskilled maybe 1200 hours. 1200 hours. That means, is there any change in the proposition? Yes, sir. We were supposed to use in this ratio 10 is to 12 is to 15, but we have used it in a different ratio. Due to this, will the payment change? Yes, obviously I would have ended up paying more because I have used the highest paid workers more. Highest paid workers more. Is that clear? Yes. So due to the change in this composition, is my cost getting affected? Yes, that is called labor mix variance. And even here, guys, labor mix and yield we will calculate only when more than one category of workers are used in production. More than one category of workers are used in production. Clear are there? We used to calculate material mix variance only if I use more than one raw material in the production process. Here I am using more than one category of workers in the production process. And labor yield variance, or we also call it as labor revised efficiency variance. Alternate name also, you please be knowing it, because we don't know what name they will use it in the exam. When they use, you should not feel something out of the syllabus they have asked, or else sir has not taught us. Labor mix variance. It is also known as gang composition variance. Gang means a group of workers. A group of workers. It arises due to change in the mix or combination or composition of different skill set. That is, number of skilled workers, semi-skilled workers, and unskilled workers. The formula is revised standard hours minus actual hours. Hello, actual hours work into standard rate. Sir, what is this revised standard hours? Note. First, let us read the note. Revised standard hours are the breakup of total actual hours. Hello, work, work. Please be careful. Total actual hours spent also will be there. Don't take that. What will you take? Total actual hours work in standard hours ratio. So equation wise or formula wise also total actual hours work divided by total standard hours into standard hours for each worker. Each worker means for us we have three categories: skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled. You have to do like clear. Hello. The calculation is just like material. This is just I am dropping the ink here and there. Okay, same like material, same like materials. I had promised you one thing, na? When I started, I told you to understand material labor is easy, anta. Right? Was I right? I should be. Labor yield variance. Labor efficiency variance which arises due to productivity of workers. This is computed as follows. Labor yield variance is equal to standard hours minus revised standard hours into standard rate. Okay. Whenever the labor variance is positive, it is favorable. Whenever it is negative, it is adverse. But ideal time will always be adverse. Okay. And sir, here, can we use that formula? One more formula you gave for material. Now, can we use it here? Yes. For example, total standard hours minus total actual hours in total actual hours work into average standard rate hours. Verification. Labor cost variance is equal to what? Rate plus idle time plus efficiency. Labor cost variance is equal to labor rate plus efficiency if hours paid and hours worked is same. That means when there is no idle time. When there is no idle time. Labor efficiency variance is equal to mix and yield. Meaning of the terms used in the formula. SH means what? Standard hours. Hours required for producing actual output. Guys, here also standard hours should always be for actual output. And most of the time they would have not given for actual output. You have to convert. Your answer will start with that. Once you find out that, prepare a table, give the standard data, actual data, then start applying the formula. And you may also ask me, sir, formula mandatory nanda. Yes, you have to write it, or else you will lose marks. Sir, anyway, I know it in my mind, sir. I will straight away start the calculation. Huh? It will not work out. Everything you might know in the mind, but the evaluator should know what you know, na? So for that you present it in your answer sheet. Actual hours taken to produce actual output, and actual data will always be for actual output, guys. No doubt in that. Revised standard hours. If actual labors are worked, were worked by standard mix, that is in standard hours ratio. Yes, guys. This is all about labor. Easy, Allah? Is it easy? See, many students actually feel it difficult. Why? Because of formula. So many formulas are there. Actually, nothing to mug up, nothing to buy up. If you know what you are calculating, you can only derive the formula. Come on, we'll repeat quickly. From starting, we will start. From material, we will come. No problem. Getting late? No. Why will you get late? Who is waiting for you at home? No one. Your parents only I told, sir. You only keep them, sir. Till 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever time, sir. Mane bunde tondre. Okay, they will disturb us. Chalo, we'll start from material. You guys have to tell loudly. I should hear. Not me only. Foundation class students also should hear. We'll start with material cost variance. Formula. Standard material cost minus actual material cost. How do you get standard material cost? Standard quantity for actual output into standard price. Then how do you get actual material cost? Actual quantity into actual price. Coming to material price variance. What is the formula? Standard price minus actual price into actual quantity purchased, but for exam purpose you use consume. Clear consume. I have given a clear cut clarity because I want you guys to know conceptually and also for exam purpose what you have to. Clear? Yes. Then labor usage variance. What do you use? Quantity. What do you use? Quantity. What is the formula? Standard quantity for actual output minus actual quantity consumed into standard. Then coming to some usage is subdivided into mix and yield. For mix, what is the formula? Revised standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. Now, what is the revised standard quantity? Actual quantity in standard quantity ratio. Clear? Yes, sir. Now coming to yield variance. What is the formula? Standard quantity minus revised quantity into the alternate formula is total standard input, this quantity, minus total actual quantity into. Okay, done with material. Coming to labor. Labor cost variance. Standard labor cost minus actual labor cost. How do you derive standard labor cost? Standard R for actual output into standard rate. How do you derive? How do you derive actual labor cost? Actual R spent into actual rate. Now, this is subdivided into two, labor rate and efficiency. What is the formula to calculate labor rate variance? Standard rate minus actual rate into actual spent. Coming to efficiency variance. Standard hours for actual output minus actual work into rate. Now, labor efficiency variance is subdivided into two, mix and yield. What is the formula for labor mix variance? Revised standard minus actual work into standard rate. How do we derive revised standard labor hours? In simple, if I have to tell in sentence, to take the total of actual hours work, break down that into standard hours ratio. Then coming to labor yield variance. What is the formula? Standard hours for actual output minus revised standard hours into standard rate. Into standard rate. Then one more is the idle time. Idle time variance. How is it? Idle time into standard rate. It will always be favorable. Afterwards. It will always be afterwards. Rest all, except idle time. Rest all. If you get positive answer, favorable. If you get negative answer, it is yes.